Next up, you know what? I'm a try Shalewa. Shalewa.
Yes. So there's two ways to pronounce it. Shalewa is the African American way. Shalewa is the Nigerian way. So my name is actually Yoruba. It's from Nigeria.
Oludumare. Oludumare.
Oludumare.
Oludumare. That's God in Yoruba.
Oh, okay.
Are you Nigerian too?
No, I am not Nigerian. My mom actually got her master's in African studies back in the 60s. And so she wanted to give myself and my sister names from Africa. She didn't want us to have African American names. So she did a lot of research and she came up with my name.
Help me with the name of the festival so I can put this up on the screen. I'm so glad to have you here. I was blown away. Is this the first year? Hold up. Let me start from the beginning. What is the name of the festival?
The name of the festival is Afro Soul Festival.
Afro, is it a hyphen?
No, it's just Afro and then space soul and then festival.
All right. Is this the first year?
This is not the first year that we're doing Afro Soul Festival. This is our second year.
Well, okay. Okay. All right. We got that straight.
Yes.
Second year. And special thank you to Makita and thank you to you for your prompt response. You know, the internet can be slow, but we're here. I first stumbled across it yesterday, Afro Soul Festival. What is it? Where is it? When is it? All of that.
Okay, so
you take a moment. I'm gonna fill up my car.
Sure, no worries. Okay, so the Afro Soul Festival is June 15th, 2024, and it's going to be held at Genesee School. The address is 11202 Garrison Forest Road, and it's from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m., and it's a free festival. The festival is going to be covering a fusion of African culture, African American culture, and Caribbean culture. And that's the purpose of the festival. The purpose of the festival is to actually bring all these cultures together through music, through food, through entertainment, and through vendors. So that's the reason why we wanted to have the festival out here in Baltimore County, because we believe there's not a lot of diversity. There's not a lot of things around culture out in this area. And so we had it last year. We had a turnout of about 2,000 people. And we're hoping that it's going to be a large turnout.
First time?
First time. Yes, first time.
So who thought of it? You created this?
So my team, again, 5 Star is about empowering women. 5 Star is about empowering women. And so what we do is we do workshops, we do events throughout the year for the community and then also for our members. And so Afro Soul Festival is just one of the events that we do. We wrote for a grant and we received funding from Johnny O's office. The name of the grant is Maryland State Arts Council. They're providing us funding to do this. So they're giving us funding so that we're able to do it for free. We've also received sponsorship from a few places. We received sponsorship from Body Basic Wellness Center, which is out in Reisterstown, Maryland. We received funding from the Afro News. We received funding from District 11 Legislative Council. So those people have poured into us so that we're able to bring this to the community for free. Most festivals are not free. And so that's how we're able to do it.
Yeah, because you have to pay people.
Correct. Right. So we still have to pay, for our entertainment. We have to pay for the stage. We have to pay for, all the different things that go into making the festival successful. So that's why sponsorship has really been helpful, and getting the grant has helped us do this.
I see this blowing up.
I do too.
Like, I got to keep it real.
Okay.
I do know there's the African American Cultural Festival.
Mm-hmm.
It's been held in the late summer, going into September. It's all the way in Towson.
Right.
We've been going out Liberty Road. Are you from Baltimore? Your family from?
I grew up here. I went to high school here, but I wasn't born and raised here.
Okay, in Baltimore County or the city?
In the city. I went to Western High School.
Western, go Western. I was next door a couple of years over Holly. Yeah.
Okay.
But we have been moving as a people from West Baltimore out the Liberty Road corridor, Reisterstown Road, Security Boulevard. We've been going out there since we could. There was a time when segregation limited Black people from living north of North Avenue, west of Fulton Avenue. So it is so important that we have an Afro Soul Festival, considering the mass migration to that Northwest segment. Have you heard of the Northwest Voice newspaper?
The Northwest Voice newspaper? No, I do not.
Well, I assure you, they will cover this event. They cover Catonsville to Pikesville. They're one of our media partners, Mr. Kenny Brown. And I am so grateful to learn about this festival. I only wish I had learned about it sooner, so that we can, would have been able to have you on even sooner. But it's June 15th. That's what, next Saturday?
So it's not this Saturday, it's the following Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah. So we still have some time to get it out there.
Oh, we will.
I appreciate that.
What's the lineup?
Okay, so the way we're going to open it up, we have April Watts. She's going to be our hostess.
Go April.
We have DJ Tons. He's going to be the DJ. So it's going to start at 12. We're going to have music playing.
Sean Marshall. I mean, I don't know who's the greatest, but I know them both, and they're both beautiful people.
Absolutely. So we're going to have, people are going to be able to come, walk around, get some food. We have a lot of vendors. We have about 35 different vendors. We have food vendors, food trucks. So they can come, they can shop, they can hear the music. And then we're going to kick it off with libation. A lot of people don't understand. We're going to have someone who's going to be doing libation, right? Honoring ancestors and, the land that we're on and all the other kind of stuff. So we're going to kick it off with libation. And then we're going to go right into African dancing and African drumming. So we have an African dance troupe that's going to be coming to do the drumming, to do the dancing. Then we also have Strikers Posse, which is an all-female reggae band. So we're excited to have them. They're going to be performing.
What time are they?
I believe that they're going to probably come on around 2. I think they're coming on at 2. The dancing probably will kick off at 1. The reggae band will come on around 2. And then we also have a fitness instructor that I love him. He actually does a lot with Afro beats and soca music. And that's a big thing with Afro soul, because one thing I also want to highlight is that, Afro soul is about the fusion of the different cultures, right? So we want to actually have some African music. We want to have some Caribbean music. And then when you think about the Caribbean, sometimes people just think reggae, but there's other sounds from the Caribbean. So that's one thing I like about the fitness instructor. His name is Mr. Big Energy. He's going to be coming and he's going to do a 30-minute segment on fitness with a variety of different music. And then we actually have a Nigerian artist that's going to be doing Afro beats. And so that's going to be at the later part of it, I think around 4:00. And then we're just going to close it out with good sounds, good music, good vendors, and a good audience.
Tell me about this venue. I've never heard of it.
Okay, so Jemisi School it's like tucked away. It's a little area, kind of. I don't know if you're familiar with Irvine Nature Center.
I'm not.
No. Okay. Jemisi is a private school. It is a school that actually deals with.
Is it off of Garrison Forest going?
It's off of Garrison Forest. Yes, it's off of Garrison Forest.
The cemetery.
Exactly. It's down the street from the cemetery. And
they don't play no speeding out there. They got speed traps all over. Go flying out there if you want. You will get G-checked with one of them.
Exactly. So it will be on Jemisi's property. So they have a huge field. They have a huge open field. We didn't even fill up all of it last year with 2,000 people. So there's going to be space where the festival is. And then we have additional space on the other side. Say it again.
It's so special that we are being accommodated. And I'm glad to know that Johnny O was helpful. I personally worked on his campaign where he won by 17 votes.
Okay.
So I take some responsibility for Johnny O's tenure, and he beat out some people who just were not speaking about our community. If you know what I mean, they were not speaking very well of the Black community, and they didn't understand. One lady in particular, the interrelationship of Baltimore City and Baltimore County. Mm-hmm. There's some people who live in the county and want to point fingers at Baltimore City. Right. I live in the city and I've seen both sides. I can point fingers either way. But yeah, as you point though, there's three coming back at me. So I'm so proud to hear about this. Is there a website?
There is a website. So the website is www.5, and it's 5 spelled out, FIVE, starwomenofcolor.com. And once they go to the website, there's a menu item that says Afro Soul Festival. They can click on that. From the website, they can register. Again, it's a free event. So the registration just allows us to get a count of how many people are going to be there so we can prepare. So people could go to the website to register. People could go to the website to actually 5starwomenofcolor.com. Yep, that's perfect. People could go to the website to actually sign up if they want to be a vendor. We're still, even though we have over 35, we're still looking for more. We can hold and accommodate a lot more vendors. So people could go to the website and click on that link and see a link to register for vendors. People could go to that website if people are interested in sponsoring us. Because again, we're not able to do this without sponsorship. We do have some great sponsors already, but we would love to get more. And again, we have t-shirts. Oh, so I don't know if you can see the t-shirts. So we got t-shirts designed for Afro Soul Festival. They can go to the website and actually order their festival t-shirts so that they can walk around and say, I was at Afro Soul Festival. So they can do all that on the website.
I was at the White House.
Okay.
I guess this was February, and they had African Caribbean Day, African American Caribbean Day. A lot of us African Americans are not as aware of the history of Blacks in the Caribbean, of Blacks in South America, of Blacks who don't speak English, may speak Spanish, or Portuguese.
Right.
Why is it important to you to have that Caribbean flavor?
So I think, again, going back to when I talk about the purpose of 5-Star Women of Color, our motto is building specifically the woman within, but just in general, building the individual within, right? And so we are about empowering women first and then people overall. My belief is that when you empower the Black woman, then everything else trickles down. So it's important to educate. And so we're not saying you have to do this. We're saying if we give you the knowledge, if we give you the information, therefore now we're giving you a position to be empowered to now move and act differently. So it's important with the Afro Soul to bring all these different cultures. I think that kind of growing up in Baltimore, and again, my stepfather is Nigerian. So I have had a little bit of the opportunity to be in Nigerian environments. By being in Nigerian environments, I've been able to see the food, the culture, the language, the weddings, all those different things. And that's because of, how I grew up. But I feel like a lot of my African-American friends, a lot of people do not see that. They might just see what they see on TV, or they don't have that interaction with individuals to actually know. Like you said, in the Caribbean, there are some people that look like us that do not speak English, that speak Spanish. There are some people who, actually have different types of food and different type of music and different type of cultures and different type of religions and all that stuff. And so we just want to fuse it all on that day. So that's why we're trying to get as many different food spots to represent the taste of different culture, the Caribbean food, the African food, and of course the African-American food, also with the sound, and then just with the rich history. So once people come to the festival, we feel like once they've seen that, once they've been exposed to that, that then will help educate them and empower them in the long run.
So I got a pop quiz question for you.
Since you're
the aficionado, have you ever, I I never met this guy. I never heard of this guy. I'm 58 going on 59. God willing, Jesus Christ, the creek don't rise. There's a lot I don't know about. Some people close to me can't believe that I don't know certain things. I know a lot of Black history.
Okay.
But music is so diverse. There's so many artists to know about. But I met Cima-Funk. C-I-M-A Funk. And he's an Afro-Cuban. He was at the White House during this African Caribbean Day.
Oh, wow.
And he's big friends with Bootsy Collins.
Okay.
He's considered in Cuba on the level of Bruno Mars.
Oh, okay.
And it was who else? He's just very popular, and it brings to mind how much we don't know as African Americans about
absolutely
the music, the artists, the food you mentioned. And tell me about that food. I am a foodie. I may not look like it, but I'm a big foodie. What kind of food you gonna have?
So we actually have a Nigerian restaurant that's actually going to be there. I think they're called Posse's Kitchen. We actually have Sharif's, who's a food vendor. You've heard of Sharif's?
He's right around the corner from me here in Sandtown, down there on Franklin Street.
Okay. So we have Sharif's. We have barbecue. So that's kind of like the African American food. We have Cakes by Cynthia. That's desserts. We have Rita's. I'm trying to think what else. I think we have like some Jamaican food that's going to be there. So
I hope you're going to have the jerk chicken. My goodness, you can't have an Afro Soul Festival. You don't have no jerk chicken.
That's the goal. That's the goal. We want people to be able to say, okay, I can have some jerk. I can have some curry. What about some oxtail? What about some goat? Because I love curry goat. That's my thing.
Who's your favorite Jamaican restaurant?
I mean, I'm biased. I've been going to island cuisine for so many years, and I've done.
Hey! I watched them grow. I remember when they first started. It was around the time of Kenny's newspaper, Northwest Voice. I think their first location was on Liberty Road.
Yes.
Right there at Old Court, and I'm a big jerk chicken fan. Here in the city, I go to Avenue. Jerk what's called Culture down on Pennsylvania Avenue, or if I go uptown, I go to Max's on Rogers Avenue. Those are my two favorite spots. The first spot I ever went to was Royal Maroon, and I think they've since merged with Blue Caribbean. But out there, island cuisine. You also have Tasha Unk.
Tasha's Unk, right? And Tasha's Unk, she's moved her location because she was further up Liberty, but now she's kind of further out. She moved to location. I think it's
place. What do you call Sister's Place now? Because that's where Sharif's. I was out there and I saw Sharif has a physical location out there.
Sharif's. Yeah, I have not actually been to Sharif's physical location now.
Yeah, but I know he has the food trucks as well.
Yes.
We count us in. Be More News, Black USA. Please count us in.
Absolutely.
And there are other platforms I would love to bring you on and get this word out. Have you done any interviews yet like this?
Not this long, not with this much detail. So I definitely appreciate, because, you know, the other interview I did, I actually was on WBAL Channel 11 on Sunday, which was good. That was nice. That was my first kind of visual interview, television.
I'm glad
it was
you're
like
not
5 minutes.
Oh no! I'm giving you more than 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Come on.
5 minutes. I try to cover a whole lot in that 5 minutes, and I appreciate it. So that was kind of the first. I've done one other radio, but you were my third interview. And I do appreciate the amount of time that you're giving me to talk, because I'm able to cover a lot of different things around the festival, around the organization. There's a lot that, you know, gets left off when you just have 5 minutes. So I appreciate this time.
So I'm just curious. I'm looking at your wall behind you, and what comes to my mind as I'm looking at it are African masks. There was a time I had a huge African mask collection. I won't go into what happened to it. It's not mine anymore. It's somewhere else. But will you have any African masks for sale?
So I do believe that there are going to be some vendors there. We have one vendor in particular who she is a member of the organization, and she actually gets items from Ghana. She has a connection in Ghana. And so that was what was displayed on television. I brought some of her items. So I do think that there will be representation where you will be able to look and get some African masks. And I do actually have African masks in my house. They're just not on this level. They're downstairs at the entrance.
I had a beautiful collection. I might try to reestablish one. What else? African. So, one thing that we do know about is kente, and different fabrics and clothing. Any clothing that will be for sale?
Oh yeah. So we have several vendors who actually specialize in African clothing. Last year there was this vendor. She was sold out. So many people were in line because she had very vibrant colors. She had dresses. She had wraps. She had, gaylays. She had a lot of different things. So there's definitely going to be gaylays. So gaylays is when you see women and, it's the wrap on their head. There's different types of gaylays. So my mom wearing gaylays back in the 60s and the 70s. So I'm really introduced to this like at home. So my mom would have like African material, and she would wrap it around her head, and that was a gaylay. Now in the modern time, there are some African boutiques where they actually create the wrap for you, and it kind of fits on your head like a hat. But that is the term gaylay when you see African women or just women in general where they have that wrap on their head.
I'm trying to stay positive but I've seen some things people wearing out here in these streets, and shout out to Monique for saying it like it is.
I know what you're talking about.
Lord have mercy. I remember as a kid, as a young person, hearing wiser, older community members say, "Hey, what's up, African?" When I went to Morehouse, there was a brother named Mukasa. And Mukasa, he would always say, "What's up, African? Greetings, African."
Right.
I also think back to the brainwashing of Tarzan, of this white dude riding through the African jungle on a vine.
Right.
The brainwashing. You mentioned Nigeria. Of the 54 countries at last check that I know of in Africa, Nigeria has the largest population, 200 million, a multiplicity of cultures, but I know of Yoruba, Igbo, Edda, Eka, Hausa being among the 5 major ones.
Right.
How important is it for us to know about our Africanness?
And this is me personally speaking. This is now Shalewa speaking, not necessarily 5-star, but me speaking. I think it's extremely important. I just remember back when I was younger and having that rich name. So my full name is Shalewa Nyanza. All 3 are African names.
Slow down. Do that for me one more time.
Shalewa Nyanza.
Beautiful.
Thank you. And I didn't appreciate that when I was a little girl. I didn't really, because everybody I was around didn't have African names besides my sister. And Makita is named after Queen Sheba. So I only saw it in the household. And I wanted to give myself a nickname. So I was like, oh, don't call me Shalewa, call me Shay. Because, I just, it was unique, but I didn't understand the beauty of it being unique. What my mom was trying to do was teach us the rich culture. I mean, growing up, my mom taught my sister and I Swahili. Now, I don't remember all of it now, but that was something important that she instilled in us. And so now that I am an adult, it's interesting. I have now embraced it where I'm like, okay, I want people to call me by my African name, not Shay. I've embraced it in regards to, what I'm trying to create within the organization. I've even done a rites of passage process. I don't know if you're familiar with Sankofa Emma, But that is an adult woman's rites of passage process that I did. I completed July 2023. And that actually, yeah, it was.
I've heard of it for males.
Yes.
But for women, say the name again.
Sankofa Emma. Sankofa Emma, yes. And so it was 15 adult women, and we went through a whole process. And even though I grew up a lot with, the things my mom instilled, but it actually was teaching, like we were cooking African food. We were actually making garments. Like when we would come to sessions, we were wearing our lapas. It was a point where we had to sit with ourselves. Like we couldn't wear fake nails, fake lashes, makeup, earrings. Like we had to connect with what we were as African women. And so that was a rich experience that I kind of tackled on kind of some of the things that I already learned. It empowered me in other areas. So to say all that, I do think it's important to know where you come from. I have a daughter who, and I named her Nala Nefertiti Aya. And I love the Nefertiti part because you know what that means. It means the beautiful one has arrived. I wanted her to have a rich African name. And now she's gone off to college. And it's interesting, for the first time, she's saying, Mommy, when people see me, they say, I have a look. People come up to me and say, are you from Ethiopia? I want to get tested to see what, country in Africa I'm from. And so now some of the things that I've been doing are trickling down to my 19-year-old daughter. So I believe that in order to know where you're going, you have to know where you came from. And so that's important.
Very warming to my soul. A 19-year-old daughter, I would have never imagined. Congratulations to you.
Thank you
for good living. I have to put in a plug for my son, Asan, Asaan.
Okay.
And I got that from the Akan name, Akan. They were out of West Africa and they did not tolerate slavery.
Right.
And then my daughter's name is Nyende Amari.
Okay.
Prayer warrior and ancestral blessing. That's how I define those names. And I don't know all the way how they felt about it as younger children, but I think both of them today are proud of their name. I pray to God.
Yeah. And it's like, it's crazy. It comes later on, like when you're 10 and 11. I know I used to get, teased and people would say stuff about my name, but now, as an adult, and like I said, with my daughter now 19, so I'm pretty sure with your children, they now appreciate having that unique name that actually has meaning. And it's interesting. I know so many people in these communities where they want to change their name or come up with another name. And a lot of times they ask me, well, when did you get that name? And I'm like, from birth. Like I had that name. And Shalewa means that my spirit chose the family to be born into. So it has deep, rich meaning. And I'm embracing that now in my adulthood.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud. I'm proud to be a part of this important conversation because we live in a world. Do you see some of the foolishness that's on social media?
Yes.
It's as if we've lost our minds. I mean, some of the stuff, and it's like, baby girl, you don't have to do that to get attention.
But again, I think that goes back to sometimes upbringing, and again, not having self-awareness, not having, I've had multiple debates with a lot of women when it comes to Black women, how we show up, how we look. And that's why one of our stars is definitely the attractive appearance star. It is about, before you come into spaces and open your mouth, people perceive you based on how you look. So how do we show up in these environments? How do we look? And a lot of women that I've talked to feel the need to mimic European looks in order to find beauty within themselves. And so,
how do you feel about that?
Okay, so now you're talking to me personally.
Yes.
Personally, not 5-star. This is me personally. I just feel like, and again, I had to sit with myself when I was going through the rites of passage, looking at myself. I believe that we have been brainwashed. And there's a lot of things where, like, even you see, I have locks. I started my locks back in 2008. And when I first started my locks, I was wearing a wig. I felt like my locks weren't beautiful because I wasn't used to that. I was used to wearing the weave. I was used to wearing straight hair with a perm. And so it was such a shift. Even though mentally I wanted to do it, it was hard to shift my mindset to say, I still look beautiful. I felt like you saw my face. I felt like I had to compensate with makeup. I felt like I had to wear big earrings. At some point, I started wearing wigs because I just felt like I wasn't going to be accepted. And my peers, some of my girlfriends around me were saying, locks aren't beautiful. Locks aren't sexy, locks aren't attractive. But I had to kind of sit with myself and go through that journey of, this is beautiful. My face is beautiful. This is how I was created. And so from going through that experience, when I do have conversations with other women and I say, like I had a friend of mine who said she's not comfortable wearing her natural hair. And I was saying, what do you mean? And so she was like, she just felt like it's easier to maintain, or, you know, she just felt more beautiful with like straight weave. And so those kind of mindsets, I think, are
big sis, it hurts me when I see us. I understand it, and I'm not passing judgment, but I'm just looking at these otherwise beautiful Black women.
Absolutely.
With straight hair. If your hair is straight, let it be straight. Right. If you were born with straight hair, so be it. But you want to look like her? She want to look like you.
Right.
That's the crazy thing.
But that's where knowledge comes in. That's where it's important to actually educate. The education will help create the shift within these women, which will then empower them.
I mean, have you seen what other races do? They go to tanning salons.
Oh, absolutely.
To get what we have naturally. And I'm so glad to hear you lift up the Black woman.
Oh, yeah.
Five-star women. The Black woman is the mother of humanity.
Right.
That ankh, that symbol of life, is about y'all's womb.
Absolutely. Oh, see, where is it? Right here. I don't know if you can see the ankh.
Yeah. Symbol of life.
Right.
Long before
birth of life, to birth life. And that's another thing. We want to birth life into other women. So we have work out here to do.
This is so refreshing to hear. What contact information do I need to put up on the screen? 5-Star Women of Color. There
5-Star Women of Color, right? That is the website. On that website, they can actually email us, and we respond to all kind of, questions, whether they're interested in membership, whether they're interested in, what events that we're doing. Again, we have 5 stars that we focus on, and throughout the year, I have a board and I have staff, and as an organization, we put on different type of workshops. So, women, we want to educate them on homeownership. So one of our stars is homeownership. We do workshops on homeownership. We do workshops on being financially secure, how important it is as Black women to be financially secure and have financial wealth. We do workshops on what it means to, have an attractive appearance, which I spoke on a little bit earlier, and sophistication and culture. That is another star of ours, to develop a level of sophistication. You can have a certain amount of education, you can have all this money, but it doesn't always equal a level of sophistication. So we focus on sophistication and culture, where the Afro Soul ties into that. So we want people to go to our website. We want them to learn about who we are. We want them to learn about what we're trying to do within the community. We ask for support through donations, through sponsorship. And if people are interested in membership, we welcome them to join what we're trying to do for the Black woman.
I'm so proud of you. Can you give me those 5 stars?
Yes, 5 stars. So education. That is 1 star. Education is everything. Anything, as long as you're alive and you're learning, you're receiving education. So one of our stars is education. Our 2nd star is financial wealth. Our 3rd star is home ownership. Our 4th star is attractive appearance. And our 5th star is sophistication and culture. And so when I created 5-star, I looked at it like when you think of a 5-star restaurant, you think of good ambiance, quality food, the best service. That's what a 5-star. That's why you have some 2-star restaurants, you have some 1-star restaurants, and then you have some 5-star. So I looked at what would I think would kind of create a 5-star woman. Now, to be a member, you don't have to have all 5 stars.
You can wear wigs, you can wear whatever you want.
Wherever you were at, we will meet you. But our goal is to, and this is what makes our organization a little bit different than other organizations. Like I'm a part of a sorority, I'm an AKA. There are a lot of other great organizations that do things for the community, but our focus is on the women. And our focus is on really our members, but then also the community at large. So again, we want to help these women to grow. We want to build these women. So when these women are now empowered, it trickles back into the community. Imagine if all of us as women, and they would tear down negative stereotypes. I feel like there's a lot of negative stereotypes around Black women, but the more that we empower and uplift each other and we grow in those areas, I feel like that is what a 5-star woman is. She is empowered with her education. She has financial wealth. She has home ownership, whether she owns a home or she has the knowledge on how to purchase a home or use it for business reasons. She actually has an attractive appearance, not saying that she's the prettiest woman, but that she cares about her appearance and that it speaks volumes when she steps into the room. And then also she has a level of sophistication in the culture.
Wow. These numbers are through the roof, so keep going. I don't know what else to say. You're on a roll, sister. Tell me about Makita. I don't know if I've ever met Makita in person, but we've been Facebook friends for quite some time. When I saw the invite, first I had to go see like who this was, like what the festival was about, and I was like, oh. Once I read it, count me in. That's why I wanted to. And then I saw the date. It's not that far away.
Right.
The world should know about this. I want to hear everybody talking about this.
Oh, I appreciate that. And I agree. And that is why we feel like it's so important for, people to hear about this. We, started out, like I said, last year. This is our 2nd year. This is something we want to do annually and we want to grow. And we want to be known for an organization that is empowering people through.
I'm going to tell you where you can get some sponsorship from.
Okay. I got my pen. Where?
First of all, Baltimore County Councilman Julian Jones.
Now, I've been told that one of my board members have been saying, we need to reach out to Julian Jones. And we actually have some work in the process of connecting with him.
Senator Ben Brooks.
Yes. And Makita, because, Makita's in PR and Makita's background has been working with a lot of these elected officials. Makita is kind of heading that part up.
Too. Do you know Delegate Scott Phillips?
You say he has money too?
I bet you he can get you some money. 410-984-5050.
I'm writing all this down.
Cha-ching.
And that's what we need. And again, I think that people need to understand, because we are a nonprofit organization, I don't know any other festival, specifically like in this area or even in Maryland, that does it for free. A lot of people have said we need to be charging money and all the other kind of stuff. But if we
everybody got something to say. Everybody got something to say. You do.
But if we have the sponsorship that we need to put on this festival, and look, helps us. Yes.
And let me not forget Speaker. You got the Speaker of the House out there. The Speaker of the House of Delegates in Annapolis, Adrienne Jones. Let's not forget her. Very powerful platform. She's the one who puts on the African American Cultural Festival in Baltimore County.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Do what the good Lord sends you to do. And there's plenty of money. But when I think about the wealth of Northwest Baltimore County out there where you are,
right.
When I think about some of the money we pay for them houses out there, because I got jokes. Let me just tell you Baltimore City, so you can appreciate it. I talk about Hoodlawn, Vandalstown, and On My Arm and My Leg Mills. But all my family lives out there, and I love it just the same. I was the editor, actually, of the newspaper out there.
Okay.
all of our wealth. That's what people want. They went from Baltimore City to Baltimore County because Baltimore City, they wanted something better. So we're out there. It's not like we don't have, collectively, we have $1.6 trillion in annual disposable income. That's enough. That's the equivalent of possibly the 16th largest economy on earth. Ain't no Baltimore County without the black part. Trust and believe. Ain't no Baltimore County without the black wealth from Security Boulevard around the Ricestown Road.
Absolutely.
So there's more than enough money. And I'm glad to hear that you know about the Maryland Arts Council. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Say it again.
Any final thoughts before we close out?
Again, thank you. Like I feel like I've covered a lot. So just my final thoughts would be to thank you. I appreciate, you reaching out and allowing us as an organization to even be on here to talk about what we do, because it's very important, and also to give us the platform to talk about the festival. Again, our festival is June 15th. It is from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. It is a free festival. It is a family-friendly festival. Bring your tents, bring your chairs. There's plenty of space. So we want everyone to come out and just enjoy themselves. Again, we want to thank our sponsors. We want to ask if there is anyone who's interested in sponsorship to please go to the website. We're looking for vendors still. So if anyone's interested in being a vendor, you can go to the website. And again, that website is www.5starwomenofcolor.com. Shirts, again, if you're interested, I got to rise up to purchase a shirt. We want you to purchase a shirt because, again, that money goes back into the organization so that we're able to continue to do things. Trying to think, anything else? That would be it. Oh, I did want to shout out some of the vendors. I did actually get, information from one of my members. So we have Jer Candles. So that is one of our friends, April Ryan. She's White House correspondent. April Ryan actually is a good friend of ours. Yeah. April is going to be a vendor. She was a vendor last year. She's going to be a returning vendor. We actually have her.
How much is it to be a vendor?
Say it again.
How much is it to be a vendor?
$250. You trying to come on?
I may have to come out there and sell some books.
Come on. We still got space. I can personally send you the link, and you can sign up to be a vendor. And the thing that I always say is, when I think about a great festival, I think about good food, good music, good entertainment, and great vendors.
I do have a question for you. Go ahead.
So just to kind of shout out some of the cakes by Cynthia, we actually have New African Designs. We have CC Spices. This vendor is about spices. We have a vendor that's doing henna. We have Her Alabaster. That's the vendor who's actually bringing stuff from Ghana. We have Federo Place, the Posse Kitchen. We have IFA for Kids. That is a vendor very close to me. I don't know if you're familiar with the IFA, but we're going to have her out there, and that's more around the African spiritual kind of area where she's going to be doing stuff with children. So that is a vendor. What else? Rita's Italian Ice, Malik's Fashion. So those are kind of just to name a few.
Okay. Well, I have to make sure I put you in touch with the Northwest Voice newspaper.
Okay.
Mr. Kenny Brown, so that he can be sure to cover that event. That's the black newspaper in that part of the world. I'm all about black media. BeMoreNews.com, BlackUSA.news, and that's why 5starwomenofcolor.com is my new favorite.
Okay, I appreciate it. I thought you said you had another question. Was there any other question you wanted to ask me?
Yes. I told you I'm a foodie.
Okay.
The hottest dish I've ever tasted was over in Washington, D.C. at an African restaurant. It was the spiciest. Well, then again, let me just say the Indians, the kumari, there's a dish called kumari. Yeah, that's pretty spicy. What is the spiciest African dish you've ever tasted?
Okay, now see.
I had something to set my soul on fire. No.
See, now if you were to talk to my mother or my stepfather, I don't really like spicy. Even for me, jerk is spicy.
It is.
So my taste buds don't really appreciate the spicy. I feel like when food is spicy, I can't really taste the flavor. So I can't really answer that question. The spiciest food, but
not that I need it. I mean, hot in, hot out. Lord have mercy.
Right.
This has been beautiful. Thank you so much for taking the time out again. Thank you to Makita for making this happen. And we have to get you back on some of our other platforms.
Absolutely. I would love to do that.
Okay, good stuff. Up to date, down tomorrow, do your day, and everything will follow. Nothing to it but to do it. I got to do it regardless of how I feel. I am somebody. I am my brother's keeper. Good morning, world. And thank you.
Thank you.